Well, the last big deal we made was on the agricultural sector. So we have decided now to introduce a carbon tax on the non-energy related emissions from the agricultural sector. We will be the first country in the world to showcase that it actually can work. And what also makes me proud in that specific decision was that we have the farmers invited on board. So we did it together with the agricultural sector and haven't seen the conflict in our countries that you see in other places. Besides that, I will point at two things. One is that we need to scale up renewable energy. For us, that means solar and wind, and some of it has to be offshore. And the financial circumstances around the offshore market has changed quite radically within the last 2 or 3 years. So getting the needed financial support for offshore wind is one of the issues that we are working on. Europe are in a very difficult position and a place where we need to change. So we are importing a lot of fossil fuels. Unfortunately, we are still importing fossil fuels from Russia. That, of course, has to stop, oil and gas. But we need to move on because the import dependency in Europe are too big. So we need to produce more homegrown energy in Europe, and what that basically means is electricity for solar and wind, and in some countries nuclear. We don't have access to vast resources for fossil fuels, so we have to go green. And scaling that is an issue in EU, and then another issues are on top of my mind because we need to build the needed infrastructure. So energy has to be transported from where it can be produced, for example, in the North Sea, to where your customers are, both within household and industry. So to see this large-scale build-out, both of renewables but also of the needed grids, are some of the challenges we are working on right now. We need to simply invest more because you need more infrastructure, because there will be a bigger distance between where energy is produced when it comes to offshore wind, as an example, and where it will be consumed. So we need that infrastructure. We need it in electricity. We also, in the future, need infrastructure for carbon, and we need for hydrogen as well. Makes it more easy, but our independent climate council has said that we are on track meeting our 2030 target. So it's not so much a question on meeting the target, the short-term target, and in this respect, 2030 is short-term. And there is still, the needed European regulation are in place for meeting also EU's 2030 target. So it's more a question on what will follow. We need in EU to set a bold climate target for 2040. And of course, we need to see a European policy package that will enable the European economy to meet such a target. And of course, this European effort is of course solving part of the challenges if you, for your individual country, want to set a target that are more bold compared to the European. So there is a close dynamic between that Europe is moving, making it easier for us also on the national level to raise our ambition. So this dynamic, it will be there for the future, and I'm very much looking forward to see if we can find an ambitious conclusion on the 2040 target for EU. But also we are assuring that the policy package that will follow can enable the European economy to grow regardless of a bold climate target. Now here, let me tell you a little story about Denmark. We are a small country. We have full employment. We have a net import of skilled workforce. Europeans would like to come to live and work in Denmark, which helps our economy grow. Due to responsible decision in this government and the governments that have been there before, we have no debt, so we have surplus in our public budget. So a strong economy, high employment. We have managed to find a way to meet ambitious climate targets in a way that doesn't split our society. Those are some of the ingredients that we are so fortunate that we have in our strategy. So we can showcase to the rest of the world that you can actually go green and not go out of business. You can do the opposite. You can modernize your economy. You can modernize your industry. You can create a situation where new jobs can grow and where new technology is developed and brought to market. So I hope that even though I'm so sensitive that other countries have specificities that are not the same as the Danes, I hope that you can find a little inspiration in that it is possible to go green and build a strong economy at the same time.